Hello and welcome to the PC Gaming Vortex. My name is Hikaro, and today we are taking a look at the game Trove. Trove is a game made by Tryon Worlds, the same people that make Rift, which I'm quite a fan of. If you've seen our Rift videos, you would know I have quite a bit of a passion for that game. Now, Trove is a bit different than most of the games we cover. Trove has a kind of Minecraft building vibe going on, but it also has some RPG leveling and progression going on. It's a very interesting collaboration, kind of an amalgamation of these different genres. And at its surface, it seems to be pretty simple. It seems to be just a cut and dry, half Minecraft, half basic RPG. But when you really dig into it, you find that it's quite a bit different. Few things I'll show you at first is this game does actually have a class system. It just somewhat recently came out of beta. I had played during the alpha and during the beta, and I actually enjoyed it quite a bit. Currently, that sits at 6 classes, although they do release classes pretty fast. I have to admit, they bring stuff out relatively quick for a game like this. I am actually a Dracolite right now, which is what I had played during the beta. But you can switch between classes at will, and they will save whatever level and etc. on that class that you have. So, for example, say you've got a level 5 knight, you switch over to your Dracolite, you level that for a while, you can switch back to the knight and try to level that one again too, and it would be right where you left off. It's kind of cool. So the one character could have all 6 classes on it if you really wanted to, and just kind of switch between. I do find that it does take a little bit of time to level a class up, but nowhere near something as a normal MMO would take. You can get a class to max relatively easily, actually. It just takes some grinding. I will show you kind of the basics of the game and the concepts behind it, because like I said, it is kind of unique. So this is the hub area. The hub area where you spawn when you first log in. You spawn right in the middle there. There are some featured worlds over there that you can take a look at, things that people have created. There is a trading area over here. There's also a chest here where you can place items you want to kind of donate to the community, and people can go pick those up at will. And then if you want to leave the town, you can go work on your plot, which I will show you guys in a little while. That's one of the unique things of this game that I think is pretty cool. Up on this tower, you've got all the portals, starting from the level 1 to 3 adventure portal, and then as you climb the tower, they actually get higher level and more difficult. So there's the adept portal. If I recall, I am currently 5. I am. So we will actually bump up and go to the next one. Basically, that's the same thing. They're just a little more difficult. So this is 6 and 7. I went ahead and entered the portal. It kind of drops you into this randomly generated area. Now on the map, well, actually, I was going to say you'll see other people on the map, but it looks like I'm the first one to generate. So the way this works is when you jump through a portal, you jump through kind of an instance of this randomly generated world. And it'll drop players and players and players until it reaches a cap in that area, and then all those players will kind of go out and do their thing. Now you can go out and hunt with other people, and you'll get drops for yourself and things like that. When something drops, it drops 1 for everybody, or a random item for everybody. So you can go ahead and just play with other people without having to worry about losing anything. As you play in a specific area and people drop out, I've noticed that they tend not to add more. So say, for example, you're in an area for like 5 hours and everybody else is left, you could very easily be the only person in that area looking around and searching, which if you're trying to solo could be a good thing, but if not, it could be a bad thing. You can find yourself warping back just to warp back in again to get a new fresh world with new people. It really depends on what you're trying to do. So what I'm going to do is what I usually do is I kind of walk out into the middle of nowhere here by myself, and I just start digging around. So the world you're going to see, and immediately everybody's going to think Minecraft. I mean, Minecraft is the first thing anybody thinks when they see this old school retro blocky look. While it does have kind of a Minecraft vibe, and it does have some of those pickup components and rebuild components, at the heart of this game, it's more of an RPG with structured classes. with building as an item in the game. I actually haven't done a whole lot of building. I know you can do quite a bit of building in this game, but the draw for me at least was the RPG aspects of this game, and I enjoy them quite a bit. Okay, so here's the cornerstone. So right now, as you can see, it's a question mark. There's a few of them around here, and there's nothing really there. Now, if you hit E on the cornerstone, it pops up your little home. Now, I'm in the middle of building mine, so mine looks kind of weird, but it builds up kind of your home base, so to say. And the cool thing about this is this follows you around. So whatever modifications you make or whatever you place in this area, crafting tables, portals, things you've collected, vanity stuff, all of that stuff will be here whenever you hit one of those question mark signs. So, some of the things that are here naturally is like this. You have a potion, as you can see on my Q button at the bottom right, that has charges. So it has 12 charges in this case. When I get low, you hit E at one of these rejuvenation stations, and it goes back up to 12 charges. So you don't have to keep buying potions or anything like that. It just kind of fills itself up. There's also a storage case, which is nice. You can get all kinds of stuff in here. They give you 2, and then you have to pay to unlock the rest. I should mention this game is actually free to play. It's on the Glyph platform, which seems to be Tryon Worlds' platform. If you want to play Rift or Archage or Trove, you would need to have the Glyph program, kind of like a Steam, but not a whole lot on there. Not too bad. Glyph seems to work fine enough. It handles updates and stuff for you. I look at it more like a patcher than anything else. But you just download Glyph. Trove is in there. Download the game. Good to go. So that's pretty cool. It is free to play, and it is microtransaction driven. I will say that the microtransactions in this game, they're definitely not play to win, and there's really not a whole lot to them. I mean, they have mounts and things like that. They have vanity, like costumes, and then they have the classes themselves that you could unlock. Some of them are free, and some of them you have to unlock. But other than that, it's kind of like random items and stuff like that you can get all that in the world. So there really isn't a whole lot in that store that's going to make you go, that store is a negative influence on the game. It really isn't a negative influence on the game at all. Okay, so a few of the basics I'll give you. The combat is quite simplistic. You have a right-click ability, which you see at the bottom, is just, a normal shot like I'm doing there. With the Dracolith, it's a hold-down shot. And then you have that's the left-click ability. And then you have a right-click ability, which is a special ability, which is on mouse 2 at the bottom. In this case, it's my little dragon friend spits out a giant fireball. He can only do it once every, I don't know what the time limit is on it. I don't know, once every like 20 seconds or so. But it is kind of nice to have. It would be nice if there was like a timer on there, but it's all good. And then once you get to a high enough level, I think it's level 2 and then level 5 to unlock the other 2. You have an ability on 1, which is a mine, and then you have an ability on 2, which I'll just use now, which in this case turns me into a giant Dracolith, and I can destroy stuff. Oh, look at that! That guy's done a pretty cool thing with his cornerstone. You see all kinds of creative stuff in this game. It's like walking around Minecraft. Is this somebody's cornerstone? I think it is. Yeah, look at that. They got a Santa hat on their cornerstone. Very clever. So as you can see, that's all there is to the combat. It's not anything too crazy. It's not anything too deep, but it is fun. Each class definitely plays uniquely. The classes do have a distinct difference when it comes to playing the classes. So for example, there are range classes and there are melee classes. There are kind of a mixture of both with a hybrid class they have out right now. But when you play the classes, they feel very, very different. Almost like you're playing a different game in some senses. Going from the gunslinger to something like I think it's called the knight, the warrior type with the sword, feels very, very different. The play style is very different. But, I mean, that's good. You want to see that. There is full itemization in this game with stats. Bring up a bag here, and you can see that I have quite a few different weapons. Some of them are for the warrior that I started with, and then I have staffs. It breaks down exactly what you gain and lose, like you would expect from an MMO. Pretty simple, nothing too crazy here. They have the rarity on them. Blue is rare, green is uncommon, gray is common, you know, what you would expect. Nothing new here. Then you have the other side of the game, which is the build mode. If you hit the tab button, it switches you over to build mode. What build mode allows you to do is, as you can see, you can kind of do the Minecraft thing, where you can kind of collect blocks, you can place blocks, you know, same thing you would expect. While you're out in the world, you're kind of doing a duality thing. You're obviously walking around looking for adventure and fighting and things like that, collecting loot, but at the same time, you're also looking for special blocks and ore and things like that. The reason you're looking for these things is because you want to craft things. Let me show you one of the crafting stations. I'll pull my cornerstone up, my very strange moat pit of doom thing I got going on here. So if I go to the crafting bench, it's pretty simple. Click on something, this is what you need, you hit craft. You can get better crafting stations and different types of crafting stations, do different things. You just have to kind of collect the stuff out in the world. Obviously, some things are going to take a lot of stuff. You know, 500 mushroom chunks to make a mushroom mount. You need, you know, 2,000 pieces of infinium to make mounts. There's big stuff, small stuff, you know, etc. Pretty straightforward when it comes to crafting. You don't have to know any specific way to put things like you would in Minecraft or anything like that. It's just, do you have the recipe? Yes or no. If you have the recipe, you're good to make it. Recipes can be gained different ways. You can get them as drops off of bosses. You can get them from the store through random like pinatas and stuff like that. You know, what you'd expect. Nothing too out of the ordinary. Now here's what the game actually looks like when you're playing it. So when you're out in the world, you look on the map, and you look for places that either people are going, if you want to party with people, or you look for places that people are not going. So in my case, I'm going to look for places people aren't going, so I'm going to head straight out this way. And what you're looking for is you're looking for, obviously, enemies. Take out enemies for experience, but at the same time, you're looking for special locations, little mini dungeons, so to say. And when you see a mini dungeon, you're going to be able to tell two things right away. The first thing you're going to be able to tell is, did somebody already complete that dungeon? There's one right there. You can see it in the trees. Looks like a tree house going up. That is a mini dungeon. They all look different depending on the area you're in. There's quite a few different biomes in the game. Oh, look, there's a mushroom. Let's kill it. The dungeon will show a giant, like, X on the above it. And I'll show you what that looks like as soon as it finishes up. Looks like we've got another Dracolith. What is this here? Mount up. So it'll show a giant red X above the building if it's already been completed. I probably should have went to the 3 to 5 area. Make it a little easier to do this while I'm talking. That's okay. It looks like that other guy's heading in there at the same time, so we can join him. The red X tells you from far distance, and it's also going to show on the map if somebody's already done this dungeon, so you don't have to worry about coming and doing it. Once it's been done, it's done. So it's not like you can just keep doing it over and over again. Once it is done, it is done. Now, if you look at the top there, you'll see what's going on. There are going to be 2 waves and a bunch of... Oh, I came really close to dying there, and I'm sure one of you guys probably saw that and went, why isn't he hitting the button? Let's see. So it's 2 waves, 4 enemies. Oh, looks like he killed him. So he was doing it up top. I hadn't quite got there yet, but it looks like I did get killed by some stuff. I'm not sure if those guys were part of the waves or if they were just part of the enemies on the way up. So we'll go up and see if we qualify for the chest. Go ahead and use this. Head up a little further. Once you complete whatever it is it's asking you to complete, yep, I did get the chest, so it's got an item here waiting for me. Okay, so whenever you complete whatever it wants you to complete, whether it's kill a boss, or, you know, find your way through something, or a puzzle, or whatever it might be, once you complete that, a chest will appear. You can get the chest, and then if it's something that requires you to go down into a dungeon, there'll be a portal to get you right back out again. So in this case, as you saw, there was an item waiting there for me. It's because he broke the chest open. An item dropped for him, an item dropped for me. He got the item for him, and the item for me was still there. So, let's take a look. So this requires level 6, but that is a big upgrade, so we'll put that there. Requires level 6, also a good size upgrade. So as you probably all noticed when I first started the video and you guys saw my character, so I have a mask on, which is making my face look rather silly, and I've got a propeller hat on, which is just ridiculous. So just to put that in perspective, I am a dragonkin with a crazy blue-haired funny clown face and a propeller hat on. A little bit of silly thing going on in this game. I will say that the equipment is definitely kind of out there, but I mean that's by design. They do that on purpose. It's meant to be, just fun. Kind of have fun with it. Your character does get looking kind of wacky. If I recall, I believe I have a Santa Raptor as my mount. Yeah, I sure do, a Santa Raptor. There's a different Raptor that's got a monocle, the Gentleman's Raptor. All kinds of different crazy stuff in this game. Let's drop down to the bottom here. I probably could just jump. There we go. There is falling damage, but it is minimal. You have to go quite a distance before you take any. The chances of you dying from falling damage is pretty much non-existent. There we go. It's kind of like a mix between exploring in Minecraft, where you just kind of go out in the world, but at the same time it has that feeling of adventure, like you're playing an RPG. And each guy you kill, each mob you take out, each place you find, you do actually get something. That looked like an X, but I actually think that's an archery symbol, because the X would be ginormous. Actually, I could show you. That's the X above what we just did. Giant red X, telling everybody around, this is already done. Don't worry about it. Which is nice. I'm glad that's there. Okay, I probably shouldn't go down here, because I am at the minimum level for the area, actually technically below it. I only have 5 charges in my potion left. And this is a bigger dungeon. But you know what? I'm a little crazy, and I think you guys will find it entertaining if I die horribly. So let's give it a try. Okay. Or I could just get really lost. Either one's kind of funny. Can't dig our way out. Maybe this wasn't the way. Oh, you know what I think it is? I think you actually have to do the side ones before you could do the middle one. I remember one of these. It actually looks like someone's actually doing waves in one of these side areas. Probably the other side area. So I'll jump down, do the waves in this side area if they haven't already done so. See what I can find. As you can see in the corner, I actually got experience for that. This game is very generous of sharing experience. Wow, I'm just getting lost all over the place. I'm sure right now everybody's butt clenching because they see where I'm supposed to go and I don't, but that's okay. Half the fun of exploring is getting lost, right? There we go. Doesn't look like anybody's been down here yet because I'm having to put blocks down to get back out. So I'm probably missing something. There are puzzles involved in these places. Well, I'll head to the cornerstone, use my hub, bump down a difficulty level so that we can actually get some stuff done a little quicker so you guys can see a better representation. This game isn't going to take 3-4 episodes like Atlantica Online did to show, that's for sure. This game is a bit more simple in the basics, at least. I will say, though, I did spend hours and hours and hours playing this game. 1 to 3, 4 to 5. There we go. I spent ridiculous amounts of time playing this game in the alpha and beta of the game. I actually got a couple maxed out classes and was just having an absolute blast crafting and building up my cornerstone. I had a little cool pit thing going on, which is what I'm trying to build there. Had everything laid out, but of course I did a wipe before launch, which is normal. You expect that. And I haven't really got back to dig in like I had before. Let's head out to the coast this way. So basically what I see from this game is a lot of potential. I see that they took an existing concept with the Minecraft and the building and things like that, and they said, what do I want differently from this game? What would be nice? And I can imagine that progression, classes, more hardcore RPG elements came into play. I want to level my guy up. I want to feel actual progression. I don't want it just to be a collecting and crafting concept. So, Trove came out of that. Now, another game comes to mind when it comes to this concept, and that's Cube World. Cube World and Trove actually were coming out around the same time. And I played quite a bit of Cube World also. While it does have a different feel, it is basically the same thing, where you are out in the world where you can build, but at the same time, you're also playing this RPG progression system where you're trying to get stronger and more powerful as you go along so you can take on harder concept. Is there a giant smiley face on the side of that dungeon? I don't know if that scares me more or if that actually welcomes me. I think it kind of scares me more. Like, it's a false sense of security. Let's find out. I like the little blocky gargoyles on this. This is awesome. Oh. What in the...